Okay, good morning, boys and girls. This is Mr. Bendick. I'm along here with Mrs. Peterson Davis with Pennies for Patients and Pasta, I should say, for Pennies. She is here with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society to explain a little bit about a program and fundraiser that we're going to be doing for the month of April. But before we get started, I wanted to kind of give you guys an update from the school's perspective what we're going to be doing. As you guys heard this morning on the announcements, Mrs. Thompson mentioned something about me shaving my head, and that actually is true. But there's some stipulations that have to be met in order for that goal to happen. For example, this is, as you guys know, as Mrs. Thompson mentioned, this is going to be for grades K through 5, and we're going to be doing a fundraiser to raise money for research for kids with cancer. This is a great cause. It's something that we'd love to do and give back to our community and help those kids in need who are very similar to you guys in age, height, and everything else like that. They're regular kids. They just unfortunately have a terrible disease, specifically blood cancer, I think is what they have. And we're looking forward to helping those kids any way possible that we can. And donating spare change helps with that cause. But as I said, back to shaving my head, one of the things that I'm going to do is we have to meet a goal. And the goal is to raise $2,015 is what we're going for to meet that goal. And what we'll do is every time you make a donation, you're going to get a little slip of paper or a ticket. You're going to put your name, first and last name, legibly, so make sure you're writing neatly on the ticket. And then you're going to put it in a teacher's envelope. And then at the end of the month, if we reach a $2,015 of donations, I'm going to choose one name from every grade level that's going to have a chance to help shave my head in conjunction with, hopefully, I'm still working on this, a partnership with Sports Clips. So they'll provide the utensils to shave my head along with those people who are chosen at grade level. But remember, the big thing is we have to meet the goal of $2,015 to get to see Mr. Bendick shave his head. So we're going in conjunction with what Mrs. Peterson Davis is here to talk to you about today. The other thing I want to mention is, too, there's a great way to make donations, not just by bringing your spare change, but going online, which we'll provide a website and a URL address here in the coming days, so you guys can have your parents go online, and you're going to look for Horizon Science Academy of Lorraine. There's a lot of Horizon Science Academy, so make sure you find the one with Lorraine, and then click on it, and then you'll be able to make a donation that way as well. But we also want you to make and bring in those spare change as well. So if you have to go on the couches, look throughout the house, anywhere you can to find some extra money to help those kids, it's a great cause, and we're looking forward to doing that as well. So at this time, though, I want to give a big round of applause for Mrs. Peterson Davis. She is here, so thank you so much for coming. We appreciate your time. So
glad to be here.
Tell our kids what we have planned and tell them a little bit about what we're going to be doing.
Absolutely. Well, I want to say thank you first. I'm really, really grateful. Last year we had 28,000 schools all over the United States and Canada raise $29 million. Wow. So that's a pretty amazing thing. When you think of pennies and nickels and dimes and quarters, that really does add up when you fill up your little box. So thank you for making a difference, and thank you. I know you all will hit your goal this year, and I hope I get to see a picture of Mr. Bendick with that shaved head. So I want to talk about two things. One, I want to talk a little bit about blood cancers, and the others I want to talk a little bit more about your campaign as well. So if you were to imagine a vein in your body, this would be your vein in your body. You can see it's bigger than my arm, so this is a pretend vein in your body. And as you all know, because I know you all are really smart, is that the blood is made up of 3 parts. The first one that we often remember is called red blood cells. So we're going to use these red pom-poms as an example. So I'm going to put some red pom-poms in here as an example of red blood cells. And what our red blood cells do is that they carry oxygen all through our body. So they keep our body moving and going and keep our body healthy. So those are the red blood cells. We also have white blood cells, and I bet you know what these do as well. These are what fight disease. So most of the time, if somebody in our class has a cold, we're not all going to get it because our white blood cells fight off those diseases. Sometimes we might be run down, we haven't slept well, we haven't eaten well, and we get that cold. But most of the time, those white blood cells do what they need to do. Finally, the last thing we have is something called platelets. We're going to use these green ones as an example. Platelets have a really important job. I bet some of you have fallen down on the playground, scraped up your knee really bad, and something forms over that when you've scraped up your knee. It's called a scab. It's the platelets that cause your blood to clot that form that scab. So most of the time our blood does what it's supposed to do. It moves around in our veins and in our arteries doing what it's supposed to do. But sometimes it stops doing what it's supposed to do, and that's when we have what we call blood cancers, all sorts of different names. And typically what happens, now I'm not a medical doctor, but this is just an example, is those white blood cells, instead of forming and fighting off disease and splitting and then forming up more, is that they just keep growing and growing and growing. They don't really clog your blood, but they keep your blood from doing what it's supposed to do. Now this is where you guys come in. The money you all have helped raise over the years has gone towards two things. One, it's gone towards research, as Mr. Bendick said, that's helped discover better and better ways to treat blood cancer. And ultimately, our goal is to find a cure for blood cancer so that no one ever has to worry about losing their life or dealing with the treatment of blood cancer. The second thing it does is helps people who have blood cancer and their families by supporting them through education, financial assistance, and all sorts of other ways as well. So the money you all have raised goes towards research and towards helping patients as they go through treatment. So you guys are going to have these little boxes, and you're going to fill them up with pennies and nickels and dimes and quarters and dollar bills and all the rest, because that really does add up. You're going to bring it back. You're going to put it in your teacher's box. You're going to take that back home and keep filling it up. Couch cushions are one of the best places.
Perfect place.
Cars.
Yeah.
You drop money in your cars. Maybe you can do some extra chores. It's springtime, so everyone needs extra work around their yard. Do some extra work, bring some money in, bring it in and add it to this box. Now the classroom that raises the most money, not only will you get to see Mr. Bendick shave his head if you get your goal, but the classroom who raises the most money will get a special Olive Garden lunch.
Wow.
Pasta, and the best part of the breadsticks, right? And plenty of salad so all the teachers can enjoy salad as well. Because you guys won't eat it, right? So this top fundraising classroom will get that as well. Again, I want to say thank you for what you're doing. It makes a huge difference. A lot of times people say kids your age can't make any difference, but I know that that's not the truth, as I've seen it change in what you all have done. So thank you for that. I can't wait to see those pictures of Mr. Bendick's shaved heads. I'm sure it'll be on the webpage, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Good deal.
Well, we appreciate you so much coming in. And boys and girls, I just want to remind you again, this is a fantastic cause to help people your age that are fighting this terrible, terrible disease. And any way that we can help, whether it's through donations of pennies, quarters, nickels, dollars, make sure that you do that. Go around raking some. There's some, with the spring, we have an opportunity to mow lawns, clean out the garage. Matter of fact, I was just cleaning out my garage this past spring break and found probably $1.50 in change. So make sure you take some effort, take the time, ask your parents, because these kids are just like you and they can utilize your help as well. So we want to thank Mrs. Peterson Davis for coming in. We look forward to meeting our goal of $2,015. We will also send some more information here in the coming days with all the information that we talked about here.
Yep.
And teachers, make sure you encourage this as well in your classroom so we can meet that goal and then hopefully have some pasta for our pennies that we donate. So thank you again for coming, and we look forward to meeting our goal. We'll see everybody later.
Bye-bye.
Thank you much.